So I've been investing for over 10 years, and after all that time, there's one brutal truth. Over 94% of day traders and swing traders simply aren't going to make it. Like when I was starting out, all I wanted to do was day trade. Like year number 1 in my investing journey, I wanted to day trade, I wanted to swing trade, I wanted to make bang 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 quick money. And unfortunately, it just simply doesn't work like that. Like there's probably so many people watching this video right now where you're just like, I want to go bang, 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 make all this money. And maybe you make money for a little bit, but then you have a bad streak. You lose a few days, you lose a few weeks, you lose a few months. And then you're like, crap, like, what am I doing right now? I'm making all these trades. I don't even know why I'm making these trades. I'm just making all these trades feeling like more trades equals more money. And I get the logic behind that because most day traders, they don't have a lot of money. They're not as savvy investors as investors that have a strategy that actually works in their long-term investors, which we'll talk about that in a second. And I know long-term investing might sound boring. Trust me, I have a different twist on it that you probably never heard before. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But the thing about day traders and swing traders is I'm willing to bet that like 95% of them still have a day job right now. And if you just think about how humans work, you have a day job. If you want to make more money at your day job, how do you do that? You work more hours, you work harder, you learn a new skill, you just trade more time for money. So when people come to the investing world and they say, I want to go make a Robinhood account, I want to go start my brokerage account, they say, okay, more trades equals more money. I need to get in and get out. I'm going to look at my charts, buy 3 screens and set it all up. I'm going to join a Discord and say, okay, give me all the trades, like feed me everything. I'm going to follow everything. And then you're going to have the brutal realization of like, this isn't actually working right now. Like I'm making all these trades and I'm not even beating what the S&P 500 does. And the funny thing about it is most investors are just like, screw the S&P, dude. Like I'm going to do way better than what that does. So in a 5-year period, the S&P 500 did roughly, we'll call it 83%, plus a 1% dividend per year, 5-year chart. So we'll just round it up and say it did 90% in a 5-year period. So when you're day trading and when you're doing all these complicated trades that you don't even know why you're doing them, if you didn't get at least an ROI of 90% in the last 5 years total, you're wasting your time, dude. You could have took your money, bought right here, went into a coma for 5 years, literally did nothing, didn't even know that you had your money in the stock market, and you almost would have doubled your money in 5 years. But remember, you're a big bad day trader and you're going to do better than 95% of investors out there. So while the market in the last couple years has been literally going straight up, like since 2022 to right now, the S&P went up like 90%, stocks like Palantir, SoFi, Hims like Nvidia, whatever. There's so many companies that are going straight to the moon right now. So that is honestly like a day trader and a swing trader's paradise because they see the market going up. And when that goes up, it carries all these high risk companies with it. I'm not saying like Nvidia is risky. I'm just saying all these companies are going up right now. So there's a lot of geniuses out there right now. There's a lot of people that think they're very smart day trading and swing trading simply because they have been making money. But here's the thing about it. This is just one cycle in the market. And while we did get a little bit of volatility right here, this was a V-shaped recovery. So all the investors that while they maybe got wiped out because they bought up here and they were very over leveraged and then the market fell and they got wiped out, many of them were saying we're going to buy this dip. And when they bought the dip, like, dude, this market went straight up since April. Like, let's see how much it went up to right now. Over 35% in literally just a couple months. The market went straight up. So there's a lot of people that made a lot of money right here. And if we flip back to my Charles Schwab account, like, dude, you could see I'm up 141% in 2 years. I could have made way more money if I wanted to. But again, I'm not going to take on extra risk just because I have to. Because here's what I'm getting at. This is what I'm pointing to right here. The market's been going up. And while we're all making money, that's great. But when the market goes down like it did right here, the market went down roughly 25 or 30%. When the market does this drop, most of the investors that are geniuses in this bull market right here, they get wiped out to a value of zero right here, simply because they have a very short-term time horizon, because they don't have their ratios in check, because they're just simply way too over leveraged in the market. Their portfolios cannot handle a sustained downtrend. Like this market, this goes from December of 2021 until roughly, we'll call it, January of 2024. Almost a little bit over 2 years right there that you would have taken 2 years to get even on your investment if you bought in right here. And the thing about most retail investors is this is like a huge problem with day and swing traders. They basically see the chart of the stock going like this. They're like, it's going up, it's going to keep going up. So they're simply willing to take on more risk up here. And when the market falls, you're like, crap, dude, I lost all this money. Like, I never want to do the stock market again. I'm done with this stuff. So, what most day and swing traders are essentially doing is they're just riding things when they're hot and then are getting wiped out when things go down. But those are one trick ponies. Those are people that are only going to survive through one bull market. They're likely not going to get through the bear markets. And trust me, we are going to see bear markets in our time. Like, I know the last couple years, everything's been straight up, like I just said, but it's not always going to be like that. And when you understand that it only takes one bear market to wipe you out and reset you at a value of zero, there's no reason to take on extra risk if you don't have to do it. Like, yes, I've been beating the stock market in the long term pretty much every single year. But on top of that, I'm not going to take on extra risk to try to make 500% a year, because what's going to happen when the bear market comes? What's going to happen when the crash comes? You're going to get wiped out. All right, so what we got to do right now is we got to go back to the chart. I'm going to draw you one line right here. And if you don't know how to draw this line, go watch my video previous to this one and I show you how to do it. But this is the earnings per share growth line of the S&P 500. The reason why we care about this line so much is because the earnings per share growth is the number one thing that moves the price of a stock in the long term. Period, bar none. It is what the profits of the companies are doing. So when you are day trading and when you are swing trading, take a look at this line right here. Like, let's just say you do a swing trade where you do something for like 2 months. Is this earnings per share growth line really even going up much in 2 months right here? Like, it's negligible. Like, it's not even really moving. But if you do a 2-year play, like, let's just take a look and see how much this line goes up. Like, we'll just say we go from the end of 2022 and we'll go up roughly 1 year to the end of 2023. 2023 ends right there. Good. Roughly 12% earnings per share growth in 1 year. So if earnings per share goes up 12%, you should imply that the stock is going to go up roughly 12% too. I do understand that there's other factors like valuations, overall macro things going on, but in theory, in the long term, if earnings per share goes up, the stock is going to follow that. So you have that tailwind behind you, not being a day trader, not being a swing trader. If you are a longer term investor with a 1 or even a 2-year time horizon, you have that tailwind behind you. Again, stock's going to follow this in the long term. And if you could buy a stock where it's actually below where the earnings per share growth line's at, you're going to get things when they're on sale. So not only is the stock likely to rebound to the earnings per share growth line, but you're also capturing 12% of earnings per share growth on top of that. So it's like a double bullish catalyst. But when you're day trading and when you're swing trading, you are capitalizing on none of that. No earnings per share growth. Companies are not growing their earnings per share in like a week or 2 weeks or a month, whatever you decide to do. And if a company is like super undervalued and you're like, oh, well, it's going to snap back to where it should actually be trading at. Dude, it's unlikely for that to happen in like 1 or 2 weeks. It's just not going to happen. So if you extend your time horizon a little bit, you have those bullish tailwinds behind you. And I just want to hit on option contracts really quick because I talk a lot about options on this channel. Dude, theta time decay crushes your option contracts when you have a very short duration. Let me just give an example right here that you probably don't understand. Let's just say you buy call options with a 10-day expiration date. 10 days start to finish. Got it. That contract, in theory, is going to go down by value 10% per day. The reason for that is because all contracts start at 100% of the value. That's what you bought it for. But if the contract's out of the money, which most option contracts that you're probably buying are out of the money, like calls that you're buying out of the money, that contract is going to go down 10% every single day, assuming the share price does nothing. So think about that. You buy it today, the share price does nothing. You wake up tomorrow and you're already down 10%. The stock does nothing again. The next day you're down 20%. And you're just hoping for the stock to have some crazy catalyst and moon straight up to try to put your contract in the money to make a little bit of money on it. And usually that stuff just doesn't happen because, dude, it's so hard to time the market. It's so hard to know if the market's going to go up or down in a week. Any company, whatever you're doing this on, even before or after earnings, like it's so hard to understand how this company's going to report, how they're going to guide going forward, and if the stock's even going to go up or down on the news. You don't know what Trump's going to tweet. You don't know what any negative catalyst is going to be. So when you're doing all this short duration day trading and swing trading, you just have so many factors that are like out of your control that you're betting on going your way. And that's probably why you're losing sleep at night, because you're worried about what you did and you don't have conviction in what you did. And there's just a lot of things that are out of your control. And I don't like that as an investor. I like to keep things in my control. I like to understand that as I'm buying a good company at a good price. Again, I know this is for the S&P, but it doesn't matter what we're doing this on. If I buy a good company down here at a good price, a good valuation level, the whole macro thesis is pretty good. All the other companies that I evaluate, like Nvidia, if I want to buy Nvidia, I'm going to evaluate AMD, I'm going to evaluate TSM, I'm going to evaluate the hyperscaler demand, I'm going to evaluate the overall economy. I'm going to do all that research and say, okay, this is a good play. I'm going to buy this company when it's undervalued. It's likely to snap back. Earnings per share is likely to grow. When you have that double bullish catalyst behind you, dude, it becomes so much easier to make money on this stuff in the long term. Like, let me delete this out right here and show you one more thing just to show you how it's almost like, I don't want to say it's impossible to lose money, but it's like if you just extend your time horizon a little bit, you're going to do just fine. So let's just say we go from right here. We'll say October of 2022, and let's go to October of 2024. October of 2024, we'll just say it's right here, pretty close. Earnings per share went up by roughly 21%. Okay? The stock should roughly go up by 21% in that time frame, assuming everything lines up. So if you have a longer duration time frame and you buy something when it's cheap, again, it becomes even more compelling to not go 1 year expiration date, but go 2 years of expiration date because you're going to be way, way more consistent. This is again why day trading and swing trading sucks. You're trying to predict all this freaking volatility, all this vibrating in the market, but it's just random. You just don't know what it's going to do. And I want to give you a little story here about this book I read the other day. And it's about talking about all of these technical analysis people and how they look at charts and say, oh my God, it's bullish or bearish. Like, go buy the stock and it's going to go up in 5 days. There's a book that was wrote. And basically what happened was they would flip a coin. Anytime that the coin landed on heads, they had a theoretical chart that went up by 1%. Anytime it hit tails, it went down by 1% theoretically. So they flipped coins randomly and did this for many flips, like thousands of flips, different time frames, all this stuff. They went and took all these charts to all these technical analysis guys and said, hey, these are some charts that we just have right here. Are these companies bullish or bearish? Again, we're flipping a coin. These aren't real companies. And they were like, oh my God, dude, like, this is so bullish. Like, what is a ticker? I need to buy this right now. And they did this to multiple technical analysis people. And they're like, dude, this is so bullish. Like, I need to buy it. It's an ascending whatever with a pennant, with a bull flag, with a golden cross, all this crazy stuff. All these things that you can make a chart look bullish or bearish at any given time. They just decided to pick the bullish side because I can make any chart look bullish or bearish anytime. That's why I'm not a huge technical analysis guy. I'm a fundamental guy. I bet on the business, the revenues, the profits, the thesis, all that stuff. So back to the coin flipping thing. Once they told the technical analysis expert, this isn't a real company, we're just simply flipping a coin, they were like so offended, like, oh my God, this is terrible. Why would you do this to me? They just felt so offended by that. But it just proves the thesis that it's hard to know by looking at a chart what a stock is going to do in the short term. And for most day and swing traders, that is literally exactly what you are doing. You are trying to predict what slot machines are going to hit. And while you might have a hot streak, like I live in Vegas, I go to the strip sometimes, I see people winning at the casinos. The casinos are not built on winners, they're built on losers. And yes, there are some people that have hot streaks and there's some people that actually win. But on balance, 99.9% of people that go to Vegas, they lose money usually in the long term if they keep coming. That is what's going to happen to day traders and swing traders because you don't have the bullish catalyst behind you of the company growing their profits and getting in at a solid valuation level. On top of that, the time decay on your contracts is going to totally crush you. It's so much harder. Your directionality has to be right, but your timing has to be literally pinpoint. Like if you buy a 2-week call option right before earnings, that stock better go up when they report earnings or you are going to get crushed because there's so much volatility priced into that contract when earnings is going to happen. And if the stock doesn't move right after earnings hit, that contract's going to go down by a lot. So I usually never do any option contract shorter than a duration of roughly 1 year. This applies to call options. I only buy leap call options 1 or 2 years out. When I sell put options, portfolio secured, not cash secured, I usually do a 1 to 2 year expiration date on that. Because again, I am capitalizing on earnings per share going up, letting the company become bigger, better, more valuable, and I'm letting the company snap back to where it should actually be trading at because I'm only doing these plays when the companies are cheap. That is a critical thing you have to understand right here. And I guess I'll end the video on this, and it's something that really, really is important to you guys, and I get it that most people are probably going to click off right now, but if you could just understand this lesson right here, this will change everything for you. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I'm like, hey, what is something that like you are just really, really good at that you know a lot about, that you feel like when new people come into this thing, they don't know a lot about it, but they might think they do know a lot about it. Hopefully that makes sense. And she ran track in high school, track in college. And she's like, just track. Like, I know how to run 400 hurdles really good. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, when you're training people and you have people that come to you and they're just like, oh, yeah, I know how to jump the hurdles. I know how to do this form. I have my technique just right. And you're telling them, like, no, it's actually wrong because of this, this, and this. But those people simply don't believe you because they haven't went through the blood, sweat, and tears, the training, the lifting, the mistakes, their injuries, all that stuff. They haven't actually lived through those mistakes to believe you that what the person that has more experience is telling you is true. I want that to set in. So trust me when I say this. I've been doing this for about 10 years. I've read hundreds of books. I went to dozens of seminars. I've done dozens of courses. I have a couple pretty high profile mentors that have helped me out a lot to really understand what matters in the stock market. And when I'm sitting here telling you confidently that you are probably not going to make it day trading or swing trading, I mean that. If I could literally go short your account, I would go short you and I would bet against you because you're simply probably not going to make it because you're trying to do something in a reproducible way that's probably not going to be something that could be reproduced. You might make money in the short term doing it, but all it takes is one crash to wipe you out. So if you want to watch a very, very good video of me going high level of the system that I use to sell portfolio secured puts, not cash secured puts, buy leap call options, buy shares, how to do a little bit of fundamental analysis, you have to watch this video right here. It's going to help you out a lot. Just trust me on that. You're going to get a lot of value over there. With that being said, I'll see you guys there.